What's Rosh Hashana about? Yeah, it's a day of judgment. Everyone's afraid. People make resolutions. There's a panic. Looking for some way that will get a good year. No. That's not what it's about. Yes, it's a day of judgment. Yes, one's life is on the line. His life, his family. And yes, in the davening we find some parts that are scary. At Aish, we sing all the scary parts. What's it really all about? So yes, we know in davening you take a look at the text of the Shemona Esrei. What it's all about is making Hashem your king. And that's the mitzvah of the day. What does it mean to make Hashem your king? It's very simple and very straightforward. God created everything for the sake of man. You know, some people out there don't feel so comfortable when we say these things. Who is to say the dog is our environment? Perhaps we're the dog's environment. But yes, this is what Judaism believes in. This is what Judaism knows to be true. The purpose of all of creation, including the entire universe. And as we are aware that there are so many spheres up there, they too were all created for us. The angels were created for us. Everything was created for us. Why for us? So we know it's simple. Hashem is good. He's good itself. Good gives. God created to give. And what does he give? Gives lots of stuff. But all within one context. We call it, we simplify it, we call it a relationship with him. But that sounds very touchy-feely. What does it mean, a relationship with him? A relationship with him means understanding him as he describes himself in the Torah, becoming more like him, first and foremost. You know, when you tell the kids God created everything, they ask, who created God? Who created Hashem? And the answer is, if he was something that needed creation, it wouldn't be. Hashem's first existence, he is existence itself. That's not a cliche. He is existence. He's not something that ever began. Unlike everything finite that must have a beginning, Hashem just is. So who created him? Nobody. Who sustains him? Him. He is because he is. Hashem is because he is. He exists in his own right. He's not at anybody else's mercy. Therefore, the essence of being godlike is being self-sustaining. Now, literally, that's not possible. We exist only through God's existence. We exist only through him. However, we've got the closest thing to it, and that is the miracle of free will. I say the miracle. This is the festival that celebrates it. We got to get it straight. You know, in science and math, we talk of everything either being deliberate or random. Free will is neither. In other words, free will is not predestined. It's not something that was made. And it's not random. What is it? We have the ability to make intelligent choice. It's very difficult to classify that in science other than for the fact that that's the way it is. Human beings make independent choices. We're not predestined. Things are not predetermined, and yet it's far from random. Perhaps, for those who deny free will, it's because they never accessed it. Sure, there are some people that just operate on instinct. They never experienced an inner battle. The fact of the matter is that in order to accommodate this existence, Hashem created our instincts and our intuition. Our Yitzchak, which is instinct. The DNA is the seed of our Yitzchak. These are our instincts. And then there's our intuition. The voice of reason coming from the soul. For people that never really took that voice of reason seriously, all of their choices are within instinct. Like choosing from among flavors of ice cream. It's which instinct is stronger. You want to be lazy, you want to sleep in, which you feel like doing, or you want to be rich. So people choose. And this one becomes a workaholic because he wants to amass wealth. So he's choosing one instinct over the other, which means he's overcoming his laziness. But that's all within the realm of instinct. And it's not nearly as turbulent a debate going on inside you as when your instincts are actually battling your intuition. Battling your intuition is something else. The human being has to make choices. Which is, do I do what feels good? Or do what I know is right? That's real choice. That's the free will we were given. Furthermore, instinctively, we are flawed. God creates every human being with his own collection of flaws. While we do share a lot of them, everyone has his own unique collection, including different intensities. One person's anger is just totally uncontrollable. Another one gets angry here and there. but he's got some other issues. Some people naturally are more lazy. Other people are more selfish. We've got the whole list. Yeah, selfishness, impatience. Why are we given them? These are our opportunities for building ourselves, for becoming self-sustaining, for earning our existence now and for all of eternity. This is who man is. Man has two distinct parts to him that, if he bothers to pay attention, are really always in disagreement. And he has the ability to choose, and it's up to him. He can choose to remain with his instinct, be that flawed human being he was born, perhaps collect some more flaws by way of his experiences, or perfect himself. Systematically perfecting every one of our character flaws. Identifying more and more with that voice of reason, with our intuition, which is rooted in the soul, which is not this fluffy thing, it's very real. Yes, it works through the brain, but we're accessing something that the brain doesn't have. Hashem created everything, for the sake of giving us this opportunity. Every situation in life offers us choices. We can build ourselves or allow ourselves to continue to deteriorate. We can choose to be happy, we can choose to be grouchy. Instinctively, as much as we're always in search of happiness, instinctively, we generally choose misery. We choose all kinds of things to be upset about. It's just mind-boggling. You ask the average human being, what are you looking for in life? The first thing they'll tell you is happiness. And people give up their happiness all the time. Someone else is successful, you can be happy for them, or you can be miserable. We choose jealousy, which just makes us miserable. You can choose to be impatient, or you can sit back and enjoy life even though you're stuck in traffic. Does anyone in his right mind think he's going to get there any more quickly because he's impatient? People do it anyway. That's instinct. That's what instinct is. Or you can tune into your intuition. I want to be happy. There's no reason why I have to set the terms. I can only be happy if I really want happiness, to be happy once and for all. And stop letting things get you down. We planned this trip. And it's a hurricane. Face it. Complaining, yeah, it's a coping mechanism, is not going to change the weather. You can enjoy your trip, so enjoy life. Enjoy life. Come on, it's only natural. Yeah, that's called instinct. That's called instinct. This is really what life is all about. Identifying with the voice of reason. First, what that means is being rational. It goes further. It's choosing meaning. It's learning to enjoy giving, which we do naturally, so much more than taking. Everyone's experiences. It feels great to give. When you receive something, how long does the joy last? How long does it last? You give, that something so real becomes so much part of you. There's nothing like helping others. Hashem describes himself in the Torah as one who gives. And he says, emulate me. Learn to enjoy that. And then the Torah gives us a whole outline for life. All of the mitzvahs, the positive, the negative. Build yourself a meaningful life. Take full control of yourself. Self-control is actually one of the most pleasurable experiences. There's nothing more empowering than knowing I don't have to follow my instinct. Yes, it does take an effort to get out of bed in the morning. But if you know that you felt like sleeping in and you got up anyway, because you know you want to accomplish something in life, it feels so good. I'm in charge. I don't take orders from my instincts. Surrendering to our flaws just makes us feel worse about ourselves. People have problems with their self-image, their self-esteem. They keep doing the stuff that makes them feel bad about themselves, and then they wonder why they have low self-esteem. So do the things that make you feel good about yourself. Be bigger than yourself. See, this is the gift that Hashem gave us. A life where you exercise your choices. You exercise your right to choice, your free will. It's so meaningful. It's so exciting. It's so empowering. There's an electricity. You're really alive. And you're being godlike. And you're connecting. And if you understand what that means, it's even more uplifting. And when the static is gone and our bodies cease to function, and we find ourselves in a different kind of existence, where there's only meaning and nothing else, we'll feel very much at home and enjoy things on a whole different level. This is what we're here for. Most human beings either are unaware and never experienced it, or are upset. Why couldn't life be easy? Why do we have to work so hard? Why are we constantly being challenged? If God wanted to give, let him just give us pleasure without work. Why do there have to be strings attached? You see, we assume. You know, Philo 101, God can do anything. Got to break the news to you. God can only be God. He can't be anything else. He can't be anything else. If you think that's a limitation, all right, good for you. He can only be the infinity. He can only be what he is. We don't have problems with that. No, he cannot turn himself into a frog. He can't. He can't even want to turn himself into a frog. He's only the infinity. And that's it. That answers all the questions. Therefore, it's got to be that the greatest good, that the most pleasurable experience is defined by what Hashem is. There couldn't be anything better. If it were all a freebie, it wouldn't have been the same. And we know that from life. We know the difference between working hard and accomplishing something and winning the lottery, which for so many people ends up being a tragedy. We understand the difference between something for nothing and something you earned. Tzedakah, the Rambam says, the highest level of tzedakah is not to support the guy. Lend him money, let him set himself up in business and repay you. The worst thing you can do is just constantly support somebody. How come? Because good is defined by what Hashem is. And that's what reality is about. And Hashem is not dependent on others in any way whatsoever. That is good. And therefore, in reality, it's good. And in every level of creation, including psychologically, it's good. Remember, there's only one creator. Our bodies, our psyche, they're in sync. So are our souls. It's got to be. Rosh Hashana is the day that God created man and recreates him every year. Gives him another year of life. Rosh Hashana celebrates that. Celebrating means you buy into it. Celebrating means this is the greatest. Are you ready to celebrate Rosh Hashanah? And this is what it's all about. Do you accept this challenge as the greatest thing possible? Or is this a burden? And you prefer not having been created? That's the question. On Rosh Hashanah, we make God our king. You know what that means? We vote for him. We buy into his purpose in our creation. That's the mitzvah of the day. That's what it's all about. So, if you're looking for good deeds to do so you'll win the prize, you missed it. Bottom line, it's the resolve. This is what I live for. This is what it's about. So what's with the health and the wealth and everything else that we really want in Rosh Hashanah because it's all decreed? Got to remember, these are all means. If you got the goal straight, you get the means. Your goal is off, so why should God support you? Why do you think he'll give you the means for something other than what he created you for. It's a question of buying into the goal, buying into the purpose. You vote for Hashem, or you're fed up with this kind of life. If this is what life is, no. You'd rather sleep. We always talk about the fact that Rosh Hashana, the custom is based in Yerushalmi. The custom is not to nap on Rosh Hashana. It says there, one who sleeps on Rosh Hashana is only by day. His mazel, his luck will be asleep all year. What does it mean? What does it mean? You know, when you're dead tired and your brain isn't functioning, and you go take a nap so that you will function, that's not the sleep they're talking about. That's constructive. All too often people sleep because it's the easiest way to avoid having to deal with life. When things are uncomfortable, our first reaction is often just yawning. We get tired. A situation that we really are having a hard time dealing with. Gotta go to sleep. Copping out of life is not what we want to do on Rosh Hashanah. On Rosh Hashanah, we're buying into life. So practically, if you got to put your head down because it's hard to think, that's okay. But if you really want to take a nap, because there's too much to deal with, you're not buying into this. That's scary. On Rosh Hashanah, the mitzvah is to vote for God. So what do you got to do to prepare for Rosh Hashanah? Develop an appetite for this. Try it. Experience giving and feel how good it is. Experience being bigger than your instincts and feel how great that is. Feel the power. Do something right that you just don't feel like getting yourself to do. Feel how good it is. Say, I want more of this. This is what I want life to be. This is what I want life to be. And every time we say, Zachrenu l'chaim, remember us to life, make sure you understand what life is. We're talking human life. Human life is growing and sharing. That is human life. You want something else? That's not what's being offered.